Welcome back and thank you for joining us. Today we are making djembe drums, which are, from as far as we know, were created in the 12th century in West Africa. And for generations and generations, they've been part of a historical and religious component to several West African cultures, and people who are able to make and play the drums are considered extremely wise. Today, we're going to try and make our own, and our challenge here is to design and create a drum. The drum should have all of these parts: the ring, the head, the strings, the shell, and the loops. Ours is unfortunately only going to be one piece, so we're only going to have one part of our shell. And here I have my paper container, my lid, I have my glue, a balloon, some colored string and beads, and my brown paper, and I have a pair of scissors, which is the one thing we need to find. And so we are going to take our container, and you notice part of the bottom of the container was cut out. So I want the narrow part of my container at the bottom. So my drum is going to be kind of this shape, obviously a bit exaggerated. And then at the top, I'm going to have the string and beads here to represent the loops. And for the top, I'm either going to use the balloon or the lid. I'm hoping to be able to make the balloon work, but because balloons always try and come back to their original size, we're at risk of crushing our container. So we'll see how that goes. So here is my container. There we go, kind of. And I'm gonna use brown paper on the sides. Traditionally, djembe drums are made out of a tree, and so I want to represent that on here. I have my lid, and we'll see how that goes. I'm hoping for the balloon, as I said, but if not, I can put the lid on it and we'll see how that goes. And then here on the sides, I'm going to use the string and beads to represent the tension strings. And that's going to be my drum. So the paper is not quite wide enough to be able to reach all the way around. So I'm going to have to do it in pieces. I'm going to cut this in half, because that'll be just a little bit longer than the drum, which is okay. And then I'm going to start gluing these pieces onto the drum, and I'll be right back. And I'm back. While I was waiting for the paper to dry, I went ahead and glued my beads on. I made kind of this zigzag pattern, just because that's what I wanted and how I liked it. On the diagram itself, they're used as tension, and they're actually creating a consistent tightening around the whole drum. So the next part is going to be the top, and the top is kind of going to be the trickiest part. So I'm hoping to use this balloon, and I did, just before the video started, blow this balloon up several times. When you blow a balloon up and stretch it and let it go and stretch it and let it go, it loses some of that tightness that balloons have. But looking at the balloon, at the top of the balloon is that like dot where, from making it, and that's okay if you're blowing it up, but I'm not blowing up this balloon, so I don't want that in my drum. I'm going to use this half, the like side half, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm gonna pull all of this away and cut it right in half. There we go. there is my very stretchy balloon. I'm going to use the lid so that I'm not messing and it will reach. I'm going to have to find a way to glue it and clamp it down. But if I stretch it across, it does reach all sides. So it is possible. My only real concern is this paper is much thicker than this paper, and so I'm gonna have to find a solution to that. I remember if all of this isn't working, you can always put the lid on the top. Oops, careful of the corners of your paper, and cover this in a piece of your brown paper, and that is totally a drum. It'll sound a little better if you pick it up off the table. But I'm not giving up just yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and problem solve this, and then I'll be right back again. Hey all! So I tried and I tried and I tried, and I could not get this balloon to work, which just makes me super sad. The one thing I did think of is cutting a circle and gluing it in, which I couldn't make work, and I had tried it on another lid. But the only thing I can think of is if you blow up the balloon while it's still intact and glue it on the inside, and then once it's glued down firmly, pop it, because then it would stay stretched. Unfortunately, I've never successfully blown up a balloon in my life, which sounds silly, but it's true. So I'm going to have to use this lid on top. I am going to cover it in a piece of paper because I like the brown that I have going, knowing that it's made out of a tree and knowing that animal hide is typically never pure perfect white. Let's see. I'll cut this out first. There we go. There we go. So, quick circle, tracing the lid just so I'm not guessing its size. And there we go. From here, after I glue this on, the only thing I'm going to be missing are the tension strings. And I glued these beads on sideways, and so I'm going to thread the string through. There we go. As if I were using the beads as rope loops. I'm gonna thread the string and then I'll be all set. So here's my drum, wrapped in paper using the string as tension rope and the beads as tension loops. I did have to use the lid. I would wonder if any of you were more successful than I was at blowing up a balloon. I've never blown up a balloon successfully. And I actually had to use a balloon pump to stretch this out earlier because I can't blow up a balloon. But I do have a drum with all of my parts, and it does produce, so I have a sound here, and I have a different sound here, and this is my djembe drum. Please share yours with me and let's see how it goes. Happy learning!